Someone on YouTube reminded me that I promised them a PlayStation Vita collection video, and I never got around to filming it, so thank you for reminding me. Let's get to it. So, I was collecting for the PlayStation Vita when it first came out. That really needs a clean. What the fuck? It's got like cat hair on it. That damn cat coming in here. Oh. Oh man. This is going great already. I bought a PlayStation Vita the day it came out, and there were not many games available for it. I believe you could get Reality Fighters, and Ridge Racer, and Spy Hunter, and maybe an Assassin's Creed game. Oh, and Army Corps of Hell. I think those are the only games available for it on release. I think maybe this game as well, Wipeout 2048. And unfortunately, the Vita just never really exploded when it came to releases. They would trickle out, you'd get one or two a month, and that was kind of it until it fizzled out. I was happy to support the PlayStation Vita pretty much all the way up until it died. I was buying games from EB Games for it. I really wish I was buying them off of like foreign markets, because there were a lot of games that EB Games just never got in, and I ended up just missing out on heaps of them. So I have most of the games released for the PlayStation Vita. The stuff you don't see is pretty much all the stuff you never see. So let's get to it. A lot of this stuff is brand new sealed. I have Yomawari, just stuff that I bought on clearance and I never got around to actually playing. Looked interesting. Never played it. Grand Kingdom. Don't think I paid $60 for that. Brand new. I guess what makes my Vita collection interesting is there are so many brand new titles. Dead or Alive 5, brand new. Still in the shrink wrap. It probably makes it worth a small fortune, but like, man, who cares? It's the Vita. Epic Mickey 2, The Power of Two. I do like this game. This is a good version of it. Pretty much the same as the one on the PlayStation 3, I'd say. Hype Dimension Neptunia, Producing Perfection. I never played this one. Not my kind of game at all. Kind of a degenerate style game, but not really my thing. Mud. There you go. That one had a bit of damage. That one was cheap. Steins Gate. This one I bought from EB Games, and they had the UK PAL copy. Had good things about it. A lot of the PlayStation Vita games ended up getting released on Steam as well, so if you're really dying to play them, you can probably find them there. J-Stars vs. Plus, brand new sealed. What I used to do as well is to buy games for my collection. I used to, when I would sell something online, it would go to my PayPal, and what would happen is I would take out the money I had spent on the actual item itself plus the shipping cost. So say I bought an item for $5 and sold it for $25, I'd reimburse myself $5 plus maybe $3 for shipping, so I'd reimburse myself $8 to cover my costs, and then I would have maybe $12, $15 left over after eBay took their fee, and I would use that and build it up and use it to buy PlayStation Vita games. So a lot of these are pretty much free. Natural Doctrine, interesting game, not incredible, kind of hard to get into. Operation Abyss, I like this one. There's a lot of dungeon crawlers on the PlayStation Vita. Sword Art Online, Lost Song. Harder one to find from memory. Mortal Kombat. Players Kratos, wow. World of Final Fantasy, Day 1 edition. I believe this is on PS4 as well. BlazBlue, Continuum Shift Extend. This is one of the only Japanese games I have. I have a couple others, but not heaps. The only Japanese games I have are ones that you don't need to be able to understand Japanese to play them. Little Big Planet Marvel Superhero Edition. Ys 8, Lacrimosa of Dana. This is a very good game. I love the Ys games, or the Ys, or the Ys, or the Ys, however you want to say it. They're pretty good. You always play as the redhead guy, the action RPG. It's fun. It's good fun. Ratchet & Clank Trilogy. Good release, good games. I played this on an airplane all the way to the UK. I think I might have been the only person on that plane for PlayStation Vita, go figure. Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. I played this for like 100 hours. This is such a fun game. I think this game like annihilates Mario Kart in terms of fun. Wipeout 2048, a good game. This is a Russian copy, I think, but it plays fully in English. Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Legends Complete Edition. This was another PlayStation Vita early release. 2014. Final Fantasy X-2 HD Remaster. This is not Final Fantasy X, this is Final Fantasy X-2. Because you could buy them separately. And it plays in English, I think? I don't actually remember. I never played this version. It was super duper cheap from memory. Rayman Legends, a lot of fun. Really, really fun. Origins and Legends. Ninja Gaiden Sigma Plus. Very good game too. Very difficult. Take it down to the main lot here. I have my latest edition, Persona 4 Dancing All Night. Pretty fun game. Pretty fun. I don't dig musical rhythm games too much, but this one's pretty fun. Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate. This one was pretty good too. It's a side-scrolling Batman game, but it is pretty good. I think you could play this on the 3DS as well. Hi, Catherine. Let's pull these out as we go. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. This might have came out on release. Pretty fun game. I'm filming a video. Touch My Katamari on the PlayStation Vita. The Katamari games are fun. It's a shame they don't make them anymore. I think they could do pretty well as a cult kind of game now if they got a re-release. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I printed out my own artwork for this, so it doesn't go all the way around, unfortunately. There it is. We have batteries downstairs, Catherine. Under the TV. In the drawer. Dynasty Warriors next. Uncharted Golden Abyss. I remember when this one came out, people were saying, oh yeah, this will help the Vita to sell, but nothing really did. The Uncharted games are very fun. This is also a very fun Uncharted game, but nothing was going to save the Vita, unfortunately. Criminal Girls Invite Only. I haven't played this one. It's a dungeon crawler of some sort. Michael Jackson The Experience HD. This is one in French, I think. Yeah, I think it's in French. Ridge Racer. I believe this was a release title for the PlayStation Vita. It is fun. Most of the Vita games are pretty good, pretty fun. There's no, like, horrible games. There's very few. But none of them are kind of system sellers either. Senran Kagura, Shinobi Versus. If you're a weeb, you're gonna love the PlayStation Vita. There's a lot of weeb games on the Vita. Asphalt Injection. This is a pretty good game too, but it is just like Ridge Racer. I believe this is like a port of a phone game. But it's pretty fun. The Muppets Movie Adventures. This is a weird one. It's not great. It's a side-scrolling platformer. It's not bad though. It'd probably be released as a phone game these days. Muramasa Rebirth. This is a really fun game. Definitely worth your time to track down and play. I don't know how expensive it is these days, but it's got beautiful 2D animation, action RPG there. Really like that one. Conception 2, Children of the Seven Stars, brand new sealed. My understanding of this game is that you go into these dungeons and you have to like create new warriors as you go along through breeding. It's definitely a weird one. Haven't played it. Another copy of that Hyperdimension Neptunia game. I believe I must have bought this one first and then bought the other one. Must have found it on the cheap. Disgaea 4, Promise Revealed, Revisited. This one's pretty good. There's also Disgaea 3 on the Vita. But they're also on the PlayStation 3, so you don't really need to play them on the Vita. Shovel Knight. I pre-ordered this when it came out. It was, at the time, I think the only physical copy of Shovel Knight you could get was on the Vita. I think now you can get it on pretty much anything. But it's pretty cool. This is how I played Shovel Knight. It's a very fun game. 2D platformer, very reminiscent of like Mega Man or DuckTales. A little bit of Castlevania in there. Very fun game. Really enjoyed it. Injustice, Gods Among Us. The Walking Dead Season 2. Final Fantasy X 10.2 HD Remaster. However, 10.2 is available only as a download. See? And this one is just Final Fantasy X. Don't know why they put 10.2 on the cover when it's just a download title. You can download it once and then it's gone. Unfortunately, the Vita is from a period where like the games industry was testing out this kind of it wasn't like anti-piracy, it was like anti-resale. Like, to buy the first version of the game, you would get everything, but then to buy it used or pre-owned, or borrow it from another person, you would have to spend more money in order to unlock things, I remember. Like, online passes, I think. If you were the first person to own the game would, like, lock itself to your account. If you were the second person to buy it, you would have to buy an online pass in order to play it online. Very sketchy. I'm very glad they don't do that shit anymore. Or maybe they do, and I have no idea. I don't really keep up with modern stuff. Corpse Party, Blood Drive. I really, really wanted to like this game. It seemed to match a lot of things that I like. Like, it's a horror game. I should like it, right? You have to run away from enemies and solve puzzles. But it's just not a good game at all. It reminds me much more of a visual novel where you're just reading a lot, and then sometimes you have to run away from a monster. And that's kind of it. It's a far cry from Silent Hill 2. Speaking of Silent Hill Book of Memories. I liked this game more than most. It's got almost nothing to do with Silent Hill. It's a dungeon crawler where they put Silent Hill monsters in as the enemies, but if you like dungeon crawlers, I guess it could be worse. I believe that might be the last Silent Hill game released. I don't remember. I think this came out after Downpour. Black Ops Declassified, which is also a good game. Call of Duty, this is Russian as well, but it plays in English. Fun game, very fun game. The first-person shooters are pretty good for the Vita. They're basically just, they look like early PlayStation 3 releases, but they still play very well. They're very fun. One Piece Burning Blood, brand new sealed. Dizzled. Freedom Wars there. Interesting game, not fantastic. It's a decent game. I remember you would get like a life sentence for 1,000,000 years, and then you would have to like complete missions to reduce your sentence, and you would have to fight these monsters. It's an interesting concept. Not fun enough to play all the way to completion. Walking Dead, complete first season, brand new Seal Dizzled. Senran Kagura, Estival Versus. I don't know if this is the same as the other. I can't be bothered looking through it. If I have 2 copies of this, I have 2 copies of this. Maybe it's the same artwork and everything, I don't know. This one feels heavy. Feels busty. Oh, there you go. Come on, Catherine, that was a good joke. Because it's a degenerate game. The Amazing Spider-Man. You can play this on the PS3 if you want. You don't need to play the Vita version. One of the Japanese games I have. DJ Max Technica Tune. This is another rhythm game. Catherine would probably like this one. It's similar to one she plays on her computer called... Is it Osu?
Used to play.
Oh, okay.
It is. They pronounce it Os.
Next we have Odin Sphere. I believe it's on the PlayStation 3 as well. No, Catherine, I'm filming a video. You can't interrupt like that. Brand new sealed there. The original Odin Sphere is a fantastic game. I never got around to playing this one, unfortunately. I really like Dragon's Crown, which I don't remember if it's on the Vita or only on PS3. Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time. Good game. I believe it's on PS3 as well. Very expensive on PS3. Brand new sealed Minecraft PlayStation Vita edition. The Legend of Heroes, Trials of Cold Steel. I have the second one of this as well. You'll see a bit later. Arcana Hearts 3, Love Max. Brand new sealed. Another weeb fighting game there. Deception 4, Blood Ties, brand new sealed. This is on the PlayStation 3 as well. Cool game. I really like the original few of these, especially the one on the PlayStation 2. This is one where you're going through a house and you're setting up traps for enemies that will later on come and get you. It's a very good game. Virtua Tennis 4, I believe this might have been a release title for the Vita. The Virtua Tennis games are great, I love them. I put a lot of hours into this. It's basically just like Wii Sports Tennis, but with more components to the gameplay. Mod Nation Racers Road Trip, remember these things? Over 500,000 tracks available online. I don't think they're up there anymore. Well, they might be, I don't know. Ragnarok Odyssey, American copy there. Lost Dimension, I believe I put about 10 hours into this game and just was not digging it. I believe it's a kind of strategy kind of RPG where you move your characters around, similar to a yeah, because I remember that. Yeah, I definitely put some time into this. I don't remember much about it other than that I just did not dig it. Wolf Among Us, really good game. I wish they had made a sequel to this one. Dungeon Travelers 2, The Royal Library of the Monster Seal. And the Monster Seal, even. Wow. Another dungeon crawler there. Jak and Daxter Trilogy, great set. First 3 Jak and Daxter games are pretty much must-play for the PlayStation 2. God of War Collection includes 2 full games. Not that much. Not much of a collection. I believe this has... Yeah, God of War 1 and 2, so if you want to play God of War 1 and 2 on the go, here's your chance. Super Beat Sonic, another rhythm game. This one put out by Rising Star Games. Ultra Despair Girls, Danganronpa, another episode. This is another one where I was playing it, and I think I put maybe 10 hours into the game and just was not liking it. I like the original 2 Danganronpa games, have not played the third one. This one is more of an action game. The first 2 are just visual novels where you do puzzles every now and again, like a courtroom drama. But this one, it replaces the courtroom drama with third-person shooting, and it's just not very fun. One Piece Pirate Warriors 3, and One Piece Ultimate World Red. You want everything on the Switch. Danganronpa version 3, Killing Harmony. I remember finding this in an EB Games. I think it might have been like 40 or 50 bucks, and at the time it was worth around 120. I think it's worth more now. Tokidan Kiwami. Pretty good game. There's quite a few Monster Hunter style games on the PlayStation Vita. That one I showed before was another Monster Hunter style games, and they're all pretty good. I like this one. Army Corps of Hell is a pretty good game. It reminds me a bit of Pikmin, but with a very evil overtone. You play as like the devil, and you're trying to regain hell over 100 levels with your faithful goblins. It's fun. It's a good game. Everybody's Golf. Everybody loves golf. There's another Russian release. Galgun Double Piece. This is an interesting game. I remember seeing gameplay of this back in the day, and it was kind of a meme game where, like, oh, you go around a school and shoot love hearts at teenagers. I can't say I sat down to play it. Found a used copy of it one day and decided, oh, I guess I'll buy it. Yeah, not really my kind of game. Rayman Origins, another one for printed cover. Rayman Origins is a great game. Really great game. Dungeon Hunter Alliance, another dungeon crawler. Pretty good one. Not bad. Bit like Diablo 3. Ben 10 Galactic Racing. Another one for printed cover. Child of Light Complete Edition includes the 7 DLCs. I really like this game. I like most games that are kind of Metroidvania style, and this one is no exception. I remember this came out on the PS3 or 4 as well, but it didn't actually have a game disc. You had a download code. So I decided to buy this one instead because this one actually came with the fucking game. It came with the game. God Eater 2 Rage Burst. This is another Monster Hunter style game. Pretty good game though. It is enjoyable. Here's another one, a degenerate style game for the weebs. Akiba's Trip, Undead and Undressed. This is a game where you shoot vampires. And to shoot the vampires, because your gun doesn't damage their skin because they're vampires. But what it does do is blow off pieces of their clothing so that they can be damaged by the sun. Obviously, every vampire in this is a kind of scantily clad, sexy anime girl, so they should have made a man's version, you know? You're shooting a man, you know, why not? Get some equality going. Ninja Gaiden Sigma Plus. I believe this was the first R18 game ever released in Australia. We did not always have R18 plus games, if you remember. But it was in, I think 2012 or 13 that they finally decided to start releasing kind of these kind of games here. Otherwise, you would have stuff where it would have to have a slight adjustment. Like, I think Manhunt for the PlayStation 2 has slight adjustments for it, so it can fit as a 15-plus game, not an 18-plus game. Psycho Pass, Mandatory Happiness, never played it, know nothing about it. Rugby 15, brand new sealed. I believe I paid like $10 for that, brand new. Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation, pretty good game. Not bad. It's about as good as Assassin's Creed 3 is, which is just fine. Resistance Burning Skies. I enjoyed this game a lot more than most. Reviewers at the time were not very friendly about it. You play as a firefighter and you have an axe. And it's in the Resistance games. You're going around killing aliens. It's fun. Stranger of Sword City, I remember playing this for maybe 10 hours as well, just was not digging it. It's another one of those dungeon crawlers, but I found it very difficult. Assassin's Creed Chronicles, I didn't like this one either. I found it just very boring. New Little King Story. It's weird that a PlayStation or a Nintendo Wii game eventually got a release on the PlayStation Vita. Like, it got a new game on the Vita. Go figure. Just strange. Very strange. Spy Hunter there. Good game. To my knowledge, it's just a straight re-release of the PlayStation 2 version. PlayStation Vita full game download voucher code inside. I actually forget what this came with, but it's brand new sealed. Sorcery Saga, Curse of the Great Curry God. This is a dungeon crawler, but I did enjoy it. It's a dungeon crawler that puts a lot of emphasis on alchemy, or in this case, cooking, which seems to do the same thing as alchemy in other games, where you craft items, create items in order to buff your characters before you go into battle. I enjoy it. I enjoyed it a lot. Super Monkey Ball, Banana Blitz. Another printed cover there. Good game, though. Alright, we are in the home stretch here. Some good ones to come. Danganronpa 2. It's a good game. Vita game. You're on an island paradise. You have to solve a mystery of who a killer is. It's pretty good. They kind of tell you that the world's ended as well. Undertale, I love this game. I think it's a really, really cool game. The friendly RPG where nobody has to die, isn't that the truth? You can play the whole game, and in every battle you have an option to just kill an enemy conventionally, or you can choose a harder route, which is to try and pacify them. It's an interesting theory for a game. I enjoyed it. I don't know if the creator made anything else. He definitely made Undertale. This is a big deal a few years back. This is the PlayStation Vita version. Earth Defense Force 2 Invaders from Planet Space. This game has really bad slowdown, but it is fun too, in the same way that all of the Earth Defense Force games are fun. The most fun you have is flying around as the jetpack lady and just raining death from above. It's so good. Gravity Rush, great game. Recently finished Gravity Rush Remastered on the PlayStation 4, and rekindled my love for the game. Reminded me of how the PlayStation Vita had some really good games on it and some very cool mechanics. It had like a front touchscreen and a back touchscreen. 2 analog sticks. I think it had gyroscope, a microphone. That thing was built different. Tales of Hearts are a pretty good game, not fantastic. Well, for a Tales of game, it's pretty good. Most of the Tales of games are more or less the same, but they are good. Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters, very interesting game. It's a strategy RPG, like a tile-based strategy RPG where you play as a team of ghost hunters. It's very difficult, but it is very good. Very good game. Really good artwork too. The visual novel stuff in this is really top tier. There's God Eater 2 again. Legend of Heroes 2, Trials of Cold Steel. Luminous. This was on the PlayStation Portable as well. Really fun game. Put a lot of time into this one. Good puzzle game, Tetris style. BlazBlue. This one is brand new sealed. Dragon Ball Z, Battle of Z. I said it both ways to annoy all of my audience. Dragon's Crown. One of my favorite games on the Vita and on the PlayStation 3. Just a really good side-scrolling beat 'em up style game. I'd play through the levels again and again to kind of unlock new stuff. This is one that I actually did finish because just finishing all of the levels isn't enough. You have to do certain things in order to unlock the final boss battle, and I did unlock it, and I beat him. Beat his ass. Ages of Earth, brand new seal. I played this on the PlayStation 3. Interesting game. You're like a base, and you have to stop enemies from destroying you by rotating. Soul Sacrifice, a pretty good game, just not on that top tier. Another Monster Hunter style game. It is very good, but it is not as good as like a Monster Hunter. Virtue's Last Reward, another one of my favorite games on the Vita. I believe this is on the 3DS as well, and the 3DS got the last game in this series. The first game was 999 on the DS, which I would love to own, don't have it, never played it. The second game was this one, Virtue's Last Reward. Very good game. A lot of different ways you can go with this one. So many cool endings. This is one where I was playing through it multiple times to see if I could get different endings, because different endings in this game are like... It's not like you make a sudden choice at the end and you get all these different endings. All these different choices you make throughout the course of the game affect which ending you get, and each ending is completely different. And one ending might be like 2 hours of game time shorter than the next ending, which expands more on the actual story of the game. So it's worth playing through. You can thankfully don't have to play through the whole game. You can select and save and load different areas to get different endings. Unit 13, third-person shooter. Not a lot of these on the Vita. Not bad. Trigger Happy Havoc, Danganronpa. Good game. I think this is my favorite in the Danganronpa series. This is the one I enjoyed the most. As having said, I haven't played the third game, but I did really like this game when I played it. You're locked in this school. You've got this bear which is telling you that like the outside world has turned to chaos. You're the only ones left. You have to stay in here. You can't go outside. He won't let you outside. There's a killer loose. It's a good game. Lot of reading. Tearaway. This is one of those games that tried to use every kind of feature of the PlayStation Vita. I believe this later got a PlayStation 4 release. And they changed it enough to use all of the features for the PlayStation 4. It was a weird thing Sony was doing where they would just include all of these features in the controls of their games, and it didn't make the games any better, but it didn't make them any worse either. It just made them a bit different. They eventually did away with it, and with the PlayStation 5, there doesn't seem to be any kind of integration of that again. It's like, a lot of people forget, but there is a touchpad on the PlayStation 4 controller, and you can swipe up, down, left, right to do different controls. It's kind of crazy. Need for Speed Most Wanted is another Russian game. Good game. Reality Fighters. This is probably the worst game on the PlayStation Vita. It's just a generic fighting game. It's not very good. You create your own fighter. You can take your photo. Oh yeah, that's another thing the Vita had. Rear and front vision cameras. They decked that thing out. Disgaea 3, Absence of Detention. Good game. Tile-based strategy RPG. Attacks are really fun, especially the special attacks. Shinobi 2, I put a lot of vengeance, a lot of playtime into this. Revenge of Zen. I like this game. I like the Shinobi games. They remind me of the old Tenchu games, which they don't make them like this anymore. Very difficult, very rewarding. Borderlands 2. This is the only game ever to make me throw up. I was playing this on a car. I was in the passenger's seat. The game was giving me motion sickness, and I had to tell the person, like, pull over, I'm going to throw up, eh? I had to stop playing it. Year's Memory of Celceta. This is probably my favorite Vita game. I completely finished this one. Very fun game. It's another, you say game. You play as Adol. And you're always going through action RPG. It's kind of generic for an action RPG, but it's very, very fun. Persona 4 Golden, I put a lot of time into this as well. Did not end up finishing it. I think I was about 2/3 of the way through the game. I looked up how much time I have left to finish it, because, I think I was 80 hours in, and I was fucking done. I was ready to just stop. Not because I wasn't enjoying it, but I'd had my fill, You ever play a game and it's really good, you're having a lot of fun, but you've eaten enough. You're full. You've gone through 2/3 of the big deep dish pizza. It's your absolute favorite pizza, but you're stuffed. You cannot eat another bite. That is me with Persona 4 Golden. This just has too much content in it. It's even bigger than the regular Persona 4, because you have all the golden content with the new chick. It's I don't want to say stuff like it eventually becomes painful to play through, because it just never ends. You just keep going and going and going, and it's good. It's a great, great game, but it's just long. Killzone, I don't remember what the English title for this is. This is the Russian one. I might have 2 copies of this. Yeah, I do have 2 copies of it. What was it? Killzone Mercenary, there you go. Yeah. It's weird, you get these Russian games, but then on the actual, see the title there, both of these say Killzone Mercenary, and only one of them is the Russian one. So all of the Russian games that came out, they were just the English ones, but with different artwork variations. And finally here, the Metal Gear Solid HD Collection. This is how I first played Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3. Very good games. I really like Metal Gear Solid 3 more than number 2. I know these days people love Metal Gear Solid 2 a lot for its subversive ending, but I like Metal Gear Solid 3 just that little bit more. Hey, an old receipt. How much did I pay for this one? This one was $43. There you go. And I bought it in 2012, so there you go. Even in 2012, when these things were brand new, games were not super expensive. And yeah, that's my PlayStation Vita collection. I'm still looking for other PlayStation Vita games, but it's just a matter of finding them. And I've come to terms with the fact, similar to my DS collection, which I have a lot of great DS games, but there's just so many games on the system, so many that either weren't released in Australia or limited release, stuff like that. Just stuff I will probably never find for a price I'm willing to pay. And that's fine. I have a lot of games to play already. I don't need to have everything. And that's all. Secret my house, bidding you guys farewell.